What's going on, good people? DJ here, Casey here, Adam here. Also, Justin will be here in a little bit as well. We'll add him in whenever he comes in. Uh, Want to shout out to all our everybody watching. Appreciate it. If you're watching or listening, if you happen to be listening on wherever you may be listening, Anchor, Spotify, etc., be sure to like us on Facebook because that's where like most of everything's gonna go. Is Facebook. That's where you can get the exclusive live, as it happens type coverage more so than just the pre-recorded when I get a chance to get to it type deal with the audio platforms. But nonetheless, NFL Week 3 picks, Week 3, NFL Week 5 picks, going backwards here. NFL Week 5 picks. We don't want to go back to Week 3. We want to go back to Week 3. We want to keep it at Week 5. Um,
I mean,
uh,
that would make the picks real easy, though.
I
Be like the sports almanac and Back to the Future too.
we'd have all the spoilers. We'd have all of them. But nonetheless, we're gonna jump right into it here, and we'll make sure to get this Colts Browns game out of the way quickly early. And I guess we'll kind of brush over last week anything that Adam wants to say because I know he kind of has to get in and get out, and no worries about that one. I'm sure he'll be ready next week for the full shebang bang. Possibly, but nonetheless, shout out to Sarah for tuning in as well. Appreciate the heart on Facebook too. Thanks. Sorry, still got Casey around. I know it's rough on him. I know it's rough on you, definitely. But nonetheless, NFL Week 5 preview and Week 4 review, I guess you could say. Real quick, Adam, what were you thinking about last week and kind of what went down, and we'll talk about the Colts and because the Cowboys Browns game was pretty wild. It felt like y'all were gonna, steamroll them, and then here comes Captain Comeback, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and and that was the aggravating thing was that even going into the fourth quarter, and it was 41-14. With like he said up top, we were in Disney for the last handful of days, and we're having lunch. It's going into the fourth quarter, and I looked at my wife, and I'm giving her the updates, and I was like, I'm not safe with this yet because aside from the obvious of Dak can just start slinging it left and right, which is what he did, and per the history of Cleveland, where no lead is safe. I've said to people, I don't care if it's 50-0. Brown has that lead, whatever. I will not feel safe till that clock says 0-0-0, because I've been part of too many come from behind victories to the other team. DJ, I'm sure you'll remember this: the Monday night game a few years ago with the kick six. They go into overtime. We have a chance to. I don't know if it was to go into overtime or if it was in overtime, but we had a chance to kick it to go ahead per the new rule, whatever, though, blocked, and the Ravens kick it back. And that last image from the end zone side, whatever, though, is that fat I'm going to curb my language, that fat ass Cam Irving lunging, trying to catch. I can't even remember who was that returned it, whatever, though. I'm like that is our season in a nutshell. But that was like 2015 when we had Mike Penn. But anyway, from all the clips I've seen, all the the stats and all that stuff, whatever, though, I'm like, we finally have an NFL offense. Like they're clicking on all cylinders. All the stars shine bright. Odell played out of his mind. People were messaging me like, man, when he did that loop around for that 50-yard run at the end, everyone's like, man, he barely squeaked by Aldon Smith, which on the surface, yes, but if you look on the other end of that shot, he completely sidestepped Aldon. Aldon Smith didn't have
He
a
looked like the
prayer.
fastest man on the field, didn't he? That's what I saw when I watched the play. I was like, yep, he's gone.
Yeah, he got up to 20 some odd mile an hour. It was insane. But if you look at if you look at clips of his cuts and his double moves and his routes, I'm like, he's back. Knock on wood, he's healthy. So it was full complementary football with the running game. My stomach turned when I saw that Chubb went out. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But how, like, I'm seeing the Cleveland media saying that, like, it doesn't seem to be that bad, but that he's not going to return to the game. I said, okay, good. They don't need to run him into the ground. If this is, in this climate, you don't want to hurt the golden goose. And then, boom, Dearness Johnson says, hold my beer, player. 13 rushes for like 95 yards and looked good. He acted like he was Alvin Kamara out there. It was incredible. Like, I was, as crazy as that comeback was, they still pulled away with a double digit victory. And the craziest 2-point conversion I've ever seen on a block extra point that the Dallas Cowboys can only do as they've done before, like Leon Lett back in the day, where block kick, you advance in and it stumbles into the end zone, 2-point conversion. So, but this was a statement. I mean, regardless of the comeback, whatever, that was a statement win for Cleveland. It was so, too many times of, well, this is a team they should beat. And despite Dallas being 1-2 at that point, it was like, okay, this is still the Cowboys, and you're going into their house. You need to make a statement. And Kevin Stefanski, I don't want to jump the gun too quick, whatever that, but if he keeps this pace, especially with calling plays, he could be in position to be coach of the year. Because he was toying with Mike Nolan in his play calling. And Mike Nolan, how do you leave Odell Beckham one-on-one at the goal line? Swip, swip, boom, easy touchdown. So I don't know. I mean, we knew Dallas's defense was bad, whatever, but that it was fully on display on Sunday. But 41-14 going into the fourth, great, Dallas has that great comeback. The TV people I know enjoyed that, when it was all said and done. But I was elated. We were walking out of the park, and I looked down on my phone because I had the ESPN app up. I looked down at my phone and it says Odell Beckham 50-yard touchdown, and I started steamrolling towards Main Street, whatever, though. Fist bump, yeah, and one of the guys that has the cameras where you could take a picture, right in front of the castle was giving me the, like, what's wrong with this guy? Whatever. I'm like, they just scored. I'm sorry. But anyway, no, real excited. First time in 20 years they're 3-1. I'm still gobsmacked by that. But great win, great statement win for the Browns.
And like you said, first time they've been 3-1 in that many years. That's like enough said right there. I was really impressed by how they played in that game too, and it really just shows you how weak too I think the NFC East is. That's not taking credit away from Cleveland. That's just saying the NFC East is just rough. It's just, I mean, none of them won last week, did they? If I'm not mistaken, I think they all lost. So Washington still.
Eagles beat the 49ers.
That's right. No, that's right. The Eagles won, and then they ended up taking over the lead due to their tie from a week ago. So ironic, how ironic that is. But anything else you were surprised about from week 4? I mean, just in general, anything really just shock you besides, of course, Cleveland putting it on the Cowboys like that?
Well, yeah, big shock. I can't say really shock, whatever, though, but, a little bit of an eye-opener was Panthers slowly starting to turn the corner. I don't think they're out of the woods yet, but they're starting to gain some momentum.
Does it have something to do with the Cardinals maybe taking a step back?
Yes, and that was going to be be my second thing, too, is like Cardinals falling 2 straight. And because I figured after last week, they'd bounce back, whatever, though, but boom. They take another L. Now, that I'm not saying that they're done or anything, whatever. I just find that very, very surprising. especially with the momentum they had going into this season, with them getting Hopkins and whatnot, and Kyler getting another full complimentary off season, in quotations with Kingsbury, but yeah, other than that, nothing really, jumping off the page. I was a little surprised, this is off field stuff. I was a little surprised the Texans fired Bill O'Brien, but at the same time, like, to me, that should have been done a while ago. I mean, I know he's won like 4 out of like the last 6 years. He's won the AFC South, whatever though. But I mean, Bill just got so much egg in the face with the DeAndre Hopkins trade, and not having any help for Deshaun. Deshaun deserves better in this climate, whatever though. But that's why I said, like, they're in terms of this year, they are done. But yeah, other than that, nothing really jumped off the page.
It was interesting to have 2 Monday night games. That was kind of fun. Even though nobody cared about the Packers Falcons game, that actually turned out to be a pretty decent game. But I'm gonna turn the floor over to Casey and Adam here for the Browns Colts super matchup here, main event. Since Adam doesn't, of course, if anybody's just tuning in, they're like, "What's going on? This is out of order." Adam doesn't have much time tonight, so I'm trying to make sure everybody knows what's going on, and they're not really confused. Even Justin doesn't even know what's going on, so I'm trying to help Justin out too. Justin, we haven't heard him yet. He's here.
Yes, I literally just got off a plane, so yeah, I'm taking a quote unquote rain check for the evening, but I just wanted to get my thoughts in.
But I'm gonna give the floor to Casey and Adam for the Colts Browns matchup and what they think, and of course. Justin and I will talk about it a little bit later, but the floor is whoever wants to speak first. Yours.
Go ahead, Cassie.
All right, I guess I'll take it. First of all, I was also impressed with the Browns last week. That was one of the games that I was really focused on watching for whatever reason. I don't know exactly why, but it turned out to be a really good game. I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like just in general, there's been a lot of really high-scoring games this season. And when I mean high-scoring, like, in the upper 30s, the Browns had 49. Which seems a little bit off, but not the Browns getting 49, but just the high scoring games in general. But as for the Colts and the Browns, both coming off wins, I think it's going to be a good game. I'm not going to be like Justin, and I'm not going to be like DJ and just pick my team because it's my team. Because I do think the Browns are on a roll. And I still think the Colts are still kind of figuring out who we are right now. Obviously we have Rivers, but we're still trying to, I feel like figure out, exactly what we're doing, I might have to go with the Browns just because they're on a roll. Oh. The fan in me wants the Colts to win. But I just have the feeling that the Browns are going to win. I really have that feeling. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Adam?
Could it be the suspect Colts defense? What?
Did that could, yeah.
Well, no, I think the Colts' D is actually not that bad. I mean, I'm too opposing.
Okay, it's not Dallas, Adam. I mean, it's not Dallas, but I mean, you can't give us so bad, okay?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, the teams that the Colts have faced, whatever though, like they haven't they haven't faced a running attack, a team that is really heavy on the running attack. Whatever. I think like the Colts haven't like given up anything. They haven't given up a run over like 15 yards, like one fell swoop, whatever. So I think they're pretty stout there. But this is going to be strength against strength. Like, because I think the Colts' O line is really good. This is really going to have to be you're definitely going to have to, the defense is definitely going to have to step up again, because I mean, despite Rivers' age and this and whatnot, whatever, he's still proven that he can still move up and down the field. I mean, he's a veteran. He's definitely no slouch. You got two great running backs in the backfield, so that's a good complement of weapons right there. Um, I do like the fact, again, this is the fandom, whatever. I do like the fact that the Colts are actually I think like a 1.5 or 2 point favorite on the road, because it's in Cleveland. I said, good. Last year, I'd have been like, F that ain't right. They got no respect for us. I'm like, fine. This year, I'm like, fine. Disrespect us, all you want. But this is going to be another huge challenge against a good team. Um, there is the possibility of Cleveland to have a little bit of a letdown per that crazy game in Dallas, whatever, though. But I do feel in this case it doesn't need to. They don't have to score 49 points. Like to me, like this could be this could be like a 2017 23-20 type of game, whatever, though. It's like just keep in striking distance. Like I say, it's gonna suck not having Chubb, whatever, though. But with Hunt as an A+ back, and Dontrell Hilliard and Dearness Johnson is more than capable of being another option in the backfield. But again, it's still just another thing. The O line still has to continue to do what they do. You started to see it a little bit in the Dallas game, seeing Hooper get involved. He finally got his first touchdown. Harrison Bryant, doing his thing. I think he had like 3 or 4 catches for around 40 yards, which is perfect. Doesn't have to be over the top. He's not Greg Kittle. I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see if they're going to have Donovan Peoples-Jones get involved more, because I don't know if you saw in the clips Sunday. He did not have one pass thrown to him, but he was pancaking the linebackers and the DBs coming into the box. I mean, just throwing them down with no regard of human life. It was insane. Um, and another thing to watch would see if Myles Garrett can have 4 straight games of a sack, stripped fumble, because like he's been on a tear. So yeah, you've got to get to Rivers. But and this is the fan in me, and this is objective. I think this will be a close one, but I think it could be a last second Cody Parkey field goal for the win. So yes, so I'm definitely going Cleveland.
I'll chime in, and then I'll let Justin chime in on this one. And Adam, if you need to leave, feel free. Whenever you feel like it, you're fine.
Yeah, I'll see what you guys have to say, because I like hearing the other commentary as well.
In terms of the Browns Colts game, it's a very interesting game, to be honest. I think I'm uncertain about both of them. Like, the Browns have looked good in a couple of weeks, and it's like, okay, or is this the Browns that we expected to see? I think more so last year. Is this that Browns team? But then at the same time, you have the Colts with the veteran leadership of Philip Rivers. They got a pretty good running game. And they do pretty good spreading the football around. I wonder about their defense sometimes. I think that's the one weak spot. If there is a weakness, I don't think it's offensively. I think it's more so defensively. And the Browns have so much firepower that when they put it all together, that's a tough matchup for the Colts. So in making a prediction, I'm gonna go with the Browns. I hope the Colts win this one, but I'm gonna go with the Browns. I hope the Colts win this one for selfish reasons, of course. But I I'm gonna go with the Browns because I think it's just a tough matchup. Who do they match up with Odell? Who do they match up with Jarvis? Uh, no Nick Chubb, of course, but who do they match up with Kareem Hunt? Who do they match up with Dearness Johnson? He played. I mean, he played out of his mind last week too. So who do you match up with all those guys? Like you said, Austin Hooper comes in. Who do you match up with all these guys? That's a tough matchup. I think for any team really, but especially a team that's finally starting to click. Uh, I gotta feel like the Browns are gonna win this one. Uh, yeah, I feel like the Browns are gonna win definitely. Justin,
I mean, DJ, you just hit the nail on the coffin there. I mean, you just told like every point that there is to make there. I mean, yeah, Casey, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the Browns are going to get the win here. The Browns are winning. I mean, but like Adam said, this game could be really, really close. Like we've seen some good things out of the Colts, but there's they got the veteran leadership with Philip Rivers, like DJ said, and but I feel like I don't know that the receiving core and like they don't have as much star power as they do with Cleveland. So I'm gonna have to go with Cleveland, and I don't know much of their. I mean, their defense, their defense looks good at some points, but I just gotta go with Cleveland. Like after what they did last week to the Cowboys, and also that I thought they were about to come. I thought the Cowboys were about to come back. I'm like, oh no, please not again. Hopefully the Cowboys do not come back. And this, thank God that the Cowboys did not win, and the Browns got the win. But no, Browns are winning this. Browns are winning this game here.
No, I just want to make one, like one more point that, putting over to put over the Colts is, I mean, again, like their defense, obviously it's not, it's not the Bears, it's not like the biggest stout defense, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's definitely a weakness, but, with Frank Reich and, having Rivers in the backfield, like the two weaknesses in the Browns defense is safety and linebacker. Now, Justin Phillips and Mac Wilson, like I think are good, whatever. But like this is the first year that Mac Wilson is calling the cadences to the defense, and like in the backfield, no Grant Delpit, so that put a big hurting on what the Browns wanted to do. That's why they have that rotation with MJ Stewart, Sendejo. Sendejo has been a liability for Cleveland. I mean, he did come up with that fumble against on Zeke on Sunday, so he did come up with a big play. Like I put that on Twitter and I got flack. Like, hey, if that helps you sleep better at night, buddy, he doesn't have enough good to outweigh the bad. And I'm like, true that, but I didn't want to completely bury the guy. But if that 4th and 2 play to Cooper, it was going to be a first down just because they were playing so soft in the backfield. I'm like, why? Whatever. Okay. But, Sendejo could have Rhino gored Cooper with just a flush hit, and he whiffed and damn near took Denzel's head off. So I mean, and again, he's still getting acclimated. He wasn't going to necessarily be the starter. I think he would have been part of the rotation, but his coverage in the backfield is bad. So Philip, I know, will take shots down the field, and the Browns have been getting torched over the middle. In certain, whether it be to the tight ends or the slot receiver. I mean, you saw that Sunday. CeeDee Lamb had that it was a great pass from Dak. CeeDee was wide open, and again, that could happen. It can happen. I mean, if now you're quarterway pass into the season, Joe Woods has got to start finding that niche to accentuate the positives that's in the backfield, because you're not going to have those guys play man coverage. It's going to be a lot of zone, but you've got to have those guys have help when there's a pass over the top. I mean, granted, they haven't, with the exception of Sunday, they haven't had a lot of deep balls thrown on them. But, in terms of just the nickel and dime, not really nickel and dime, but just those 15 to 20-yard passes, whatever, are killing them. And in terms of what Casey, what you're talking about earlier with the high scoring games, great for us. But if you look how guys are attacking the ball carrier, whatever, it's like they're really not trying to plant their foot down and dig into a tackle because they don't want to get hurt. But I'm like, now you're starting to get to that point into the season where it's like, okay, I think you guys got your working boots on. That, like, I think you could start diving into the not to stop, stop taking these bad angles, or kind of olaying and taking off your momentum into a tackle. It's like, no, lay into it. So, but anyway, but so it's not good to me. It's not going to be a blowout either way in the Browns Colts. I think this is going to be a fun, entertaining game. And another big reason, again, I give a slight edge to Cleveland, is that it's at home. So, and again, if it was at Indianapolis, I'd always give the benefit to the home team. So,
and to add a little point that you made there with them not, going into plays and really going into tackles and things like that. I've seen so many, games this season, and even just highlights of, missed tackle opportunities. And, you could have stopped, this guy or that guy like 3 different times and you didn't. And it's like, what are these guys doing? Like, I get that, psychologically you're kind of messed up because you didn't have, preseason and all that stuff. And, you don't want to get injured and stuff so early in the season. But like Adam said, you gotta, this is football, as they say, it's not ballet. It's not anything like that. Like, yeah, you obviously don't want to like injure anybody, but the objective is to stop them from scoring. And a lot of these games, it feels like they're not really doing that. Which, I mean, again, it's cool to see these high scoring games, but it's like, oh, okay, can we get a defense? Can we get a stop? Anything? Anybody want to stop? Okay, no, just let them run. No, okay, that's fine. That's cool. We'll get them next time. It's fine. We'll get them next time. Like, it's cool, but it's getting annoying.
Yeah, it's like having COVID on Thursday and then walking out 5 days later. I mean,
I have no idea who would have done that. That sounds crazy.
Gasparilla. Anyway, but that's going to do it for me, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate you coming by, Adam.
All right, see you guys later.
But yeah, real quick, let's just backtrack, I guess, a little bit and talk about Week 4. What we thought of any of the other games that went down. I feel like the Ravens Washington game would have been more of a blowout than what it was. I mean, I technically feel like the score was still 31-10. RG3 did throw the pick that that gave them that late touchdown that they did get. I expected more though. I expected like 40. I think I expected 40-6 or something like that. Casey, albeit I feel like Washington or the Giants look like they're gonna win the division. Washington's just not that good. The Giants are just not that good. Neither are the Eagles, neither are the Cowboys. So go ahead and tell me why Washington is a good team.
But they're gonna win the division, and that's all that matters.
They might win it with a 6-10 record, but dang on it, they might win it. I tell you.
It don't matter. A win's a win, baby. And when you are the Washington football team, not just any Washington football team, the Washington football team. That's right. They are the football team for a state and whatever the hell Washington. What is Washington D.C.? It's a
Pennsylvania. It's in Pennsylvania, isn't it? Pennsylvania? No, it's not. Is it? Yeah, it is.
I thought you were gonna say a peninsula, but I don't even think it's a peninsula.
No, I thought it was in.
It's not a state. It's a. I can't think of the word.
It's a Columbian district.
It's a district. Yes, that one. Yeah, it's a. So yeah, that's okay. But then like New England has like 5 states. Okay, but still,
Let's quit talking about history,
but still,
geography.
history. Do we have Miley in here right now? Talking about geography. They gonna win. You gonna see. They gonna make it to the Super Bowl.
If you say so. Real quick, uh, about the about the Ravens Washington game. I was a little surprised that it wasn't a little worse than what it was. But at the same time, I mean, I wasn't overlooking Washington by any means because I think like I said, I think their defense is solid. I think they're just very young on the offensive end. They don't have a lot of things that really scare you besides Terry McLaurin. That's about it. Um, I do feel like people are overreacting about the Chiefs loss. Like the Chiefs are supposed to be the best team in the league, so losing to the Chiefs is no bad thing. I feel like, uh, but I don't know, Justin. I mean, I know you're sitting pretty right now. I know you're sitting pretty.
You know, I actually want to talk about that Chiefs
talk
game.
about the Chiefs and the Patriots. I mean, what like? I didn't think the Chiefs. I mean, people are going to give them credit because of the Chiefs at this point, but like, I didn't think they looked that good in that game.
No, we didn't look that good. I mean, I gotta give where credit's due. I mean, Bill Belichick. Like that Patriots defense is like always good, and they were really getting to Patrick Mahomes last night, and
Yeah, with 3 and 4 man rushes, they didn't really have to blitz. Like that was the biggest difference between the Ravens and the Patriots. The Ravens had to blitz because they can't get there with 4, but they were getting there with 3 and 4.
And I feel like if they would have had Cam Newton, I feel like the game would have been a whole lot different, in my opinion, because Cam Newton was out for COVID, or else the game would have been played on Sunday. Because they were playing Brian Hoyer, but like in the last few seconds they brought in Jarrett Stidham. They brought in Stidham, which I don't know why they didn't play Stidham the whole game, but Brian Hoyer, I mean, he's a legend there in New England. Like he's he should know that playbook.
I think it was a trust thing, Justin. I think not knowing what I mean, I know Jarrett Stidham technically was the starter up until the point they signed Cam Newton, but like I think that they trust him with that offense. They trust him running that offense. I don't think he played terribly. I think he just made a couple of bonehead mistakes that they really couldn't recover from at the end of the half, taking the sack, thinking he had a timeout. They even showed it after commercial and showed that he was trying to call a timeout, not really realizing that he didn't have a timeout, albeit it's a guy who doesn't get a chance to be in those situations a lot of times. So I'm not surprised that he wasn't as aware as maybe he should have been. And then what was the other thing that happened? I think they got down to the 20 and he fumbled. I think it was he got strip sack, something like that. But I mean, I wasn't impressed with the Chiefs either, and that's not me being bitter because the Ravens lost to them. That's me actually looking at the Chiefs and watching them and saying that the offense didn't look as good as they typically do. And I think the score was closer than it.
We had some guys open, but like we just weren't like like Patrick, like a lot of the receivers weren't connecting with it. You know what I mean? Like we just
right.
I mean, and also the Patriots, they kind of beat themselves, to be honest.
That's true. I mean, and every team I think is entitled to a iffy game or a kind of a bad game, but like I feel like for some reason,
and it was a really close game there at it was 6-3 there for a while, and I'm like, dude, this is really like this. We should be up, but we should have like 20 points right now, like in the first quarter.
Right, like it was 6-3 going in a half. Could have been easily 6-6. At halftime, if the sack didn't happen to end the half, that was kind of one of the big plays that, even though it's 3 points, was still bigger than I think it seemed like it was. But I mean, I feel like it was just one of those iffy games for the Chiefs. Like, I mean, I think they have a couple of them throughout the year where they just don't look like themselves for some reason. I think that the Chargers game, and luckily for Justin, since they don't do that very often, the Chargers game, I think, was another one of those kind of iffy games where they just didn't look like themselves. But it's weird, like, they beat the Ravens and everybody forgot that they struggled against the Chargers. And nobody's going to talk about that they struggled a little bit against the Patriots at all because they ended up winning the game. So, I mean, I guess that's the perks of being Super Bowl champs. You know, you kind of get the benefit of the doubt now since you are able to come back from multiple deficits time after time after time after time. I think you get a little bit more leeway, as with the Ravens don't get that much of a leeway when they do lose the games that they lose. Quick question for the audience. I do wish Adam was here for this question because I think he may agree with me. I know you two probably won't agree with me, but Adam would have agreed with me. I just wonder, do y'all feel like if the Ravens actually play their game, they can be beaten? What I mean by that is
Wait, can you say that again? I just want to know what you said that.
If the Ravens play their game, I'm saying they rush the ball 30 times.
Oh, yeah.
Can they be beaten? I mean, yes, I get it. It's a possibility, but like,
no,
the way like our rushing game is so effective, but they have to run the ball. That was one of the issues. Like I have been like obsessed with the Chiefs' loss since it happened last week. I've been like, what? Like, because what gets me is the way that the Ravens lose is the same way they lose time after time after time after time. Look at the Chargers game, same blueprint. They didn't run the football enough. You look at the Chiefs game on Monday night, they didn't run the football enough. You look at the Titans game, didn't run the football enough. Like, you look at the Browns game from last year, they didn't run the football enough. That's for their more recent losses, that they didn't run the football enough and they should have. So it's like, I feel like that's the biggest thing. I think it's less on Lamar and more on the play calling. Like, run the ball and don't be afraid to get 2, 3, 4 yards and be okay with that, because you get those 2, 3 yards, that third down is so much shorter than looking at a 3rd and 10. I just feel like that's one of the frustrating things. Like, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the coordinator. I don't know if it's Greg Roman or what's going on with them. But for some reason, they consistently, especially in the biggest games, they stop running the ball. And even in the Washington game, like, I mean, I get it. It's Washington, but at the same time, I feel like even if they don't play their game there, they got a possibility of the game being closer at worst. And they ran the ball 30 plus times. If they run the ball 30 plus times, I feel like they got a 90 to 95% chance of winning the game, even if it is against the Chiefs. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, because even in the game, what is it? The game they played Lamar's rookie year, different offense, but the game they played Lamar's rookie year, when they played the Chiefs, they ended up losing that game, but they ran the ball 38 times. But they were in that game, and they could have, and it would have been possible that they won that game if Lamar finished that game. Lamar didn't even finish that game. RG3 finished that game. So I don't know, like maybe I'm wrong. Y'all can chime in if y'all feel if y'all disagree. And I'm sure Casey's just like, oh, the Ravens suck, whatever. Because he's smirking over there. I know he wants to say something smart. I know he wants to. He wants to so bad. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it's possible. Am I wrong, Justin? Do you feel like I'm wrong?
I feel like
I you your head when
I feel like you're right for the most part. Like, most of her losses came to when they're not playing their normal style of games. Like, they're pretty. I mean, the Ravens for the most part, they're a run heavy team. They love to run the ball. Like, they're a physical team. And I don't know, like, sometimes when they don't, stick to their, if it's broke, they say if it's broke, don't fix it. Well, let's go back. What?
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
If it is broke, we probably should fix it.
If it is broke, you probably should fix it. But, like, nothing's broke over there in Baltimore. So, yeah. I don't know, like, the play calling, like, they just need to make better decisions with play calling a lot.
I mean, because I looked at it, and it was interesting. It was interesting, and Adam just sent me a message that I'm very intrigued by. But we'll talk about that in a second, about the Jets starting quarterback situation. But it's very interesting to me. I looked at the 6 losses that the Ravens have had since Lamar Jackson took over, and they've only lost 2 of those games when they ran the football 30 times or more. the rest of those games, and you can see it. It's weird, like it's funky. They run some weird pass-heavy offense for some reason, and I don't really understand it. I question the play calling, and I think a lot of Ravens fans are like, do we need to get a new coordinator? Like, we love this offense. We think the offense is perfect for what this team does. It's physical. It's literally the offense that they ran like their entire lives. They just have uh, a more mobile quarterback now. But like, everybody's like, do we need to get rid of the offensive coordinator? Is he like just not ready for the big moments? Like, what is it? Because it's just, I don't know. It's just weird to me. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why they won't run the football when they need to, and they constantly do it. And it's just like, you see the problem. I mean, I see the problem. Justin says he sees the problem. You telling me a coordinator getting paid all that money, more money than me, can't see the problem? Like, what I mean, it's not. I don't think it's that difficult. I really don't. Run the ball. You got 5 running options, four on most days, but 5 running options. Justice Hill, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Mark Ingram, and Lamar Jackson. Run the freaking football. Casey, what do you want to say? I see you over here making faces. What do you want to say?
Bruh, the water boy makes more than you.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But even he sees it. He's like, G-Ro, run no ball. Run no freak. But anyway, man.
Also, since we're talking about the Baltimores, the Baltimores, March 28th, 1984 is a day that they say will live in infamy. That was the day that the Colts left Baltimore in the middle of the night because it was such an embarrassment to have to play in Baltimore. They just couldn't take it anymore. They had to go somewhere better. Fast
Casey,
forward years later.
I got a question. I got a question.
What? Yeah. What?
So since 1996, how many Super Bowls have the Colts won? Just curious. Just curiosity. Killing the cat here. Just a little friendly competition. Just a little friendly competition. Since 1996, after you guys left, as you say, you guys left Baltimore. They had that gap, and then Baltimore came back in 1996. So we're gonna start from there. Since 1996, how many Super Bowls the Colts won? Just curious.
You had a couple good seasons. It's fine. I mean, we had a couple good seasons in Baltimore too. It's not.
It's 2-1, by the way. It's 2-1. Peyton won his other one in Denver. Just so you know. Just so you know. Peyton won his other one in Denver. That's just for you, Casey. That's just for you. Anyway, moving forward, real quick, let's address this message that I got from Adam. Apparently, Joe Flacco's set to start over Sam Darnold this week. Not certain why per se. Everybody knows.
I forgot that Joe Flacco's even in plays for the Jets.
Yep. I don't know if it has something to do with that injury that Sam Darnold had. I think Casey's on his computer. Maybe he's looking it up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's because of the injury that Sam Darnold had to his shoulder or what's going on. Because Sam didn't play terribly during the game that Joe had to come in for him in relief of him for that injury. So that's kind of weird. But interesting though. Maybe I'll look it up as you guys give your points. Unless Casey is on it, I'm not sure if Detective Casey is on it or not. But he might have to bring C.R. O'Malley out here and really do some good detective work. But nonetheless, interesting though.
Mr. O'Malley is not a detective.
Anyway, should we jump to week 5? I think we're ready to jump to week 5.
Let's go week 5.
Let's jump to week 5. Let's just go ahead and start with the Ravens and the Bengals since we're on the topic. I think this is going to be a tough one for the Ravens because I think the Bengals are better than they seem. Having that one win on the season, I think they're hungry for the second win. I think Joe Burrow's, having some consistent improvement. If they do whatever they did with Joe Mixon last week, I'm a little afraid even for our defense. So very interesting though. A very interesting game. The Bengals always play us tough. I'm sure Joe Burrow will join the list of Bengals quarterbacks playing us ridiculously tough. But I do think the Ravens will win this one as long as they run the football 30 plus times. Ironically enough, though, I say that. I was watching the Washington game and we were up on Washington. I'm like, how many times they ran the football? It was like at 25 at the time. I'm like, I bet they will get to 30 though. But nonetheless, Justin, we'll go to you. Bengals or Ravens? How do you feel?
The Bengals are going to lose here. I mean, yeah, Bengals are losing here to the Ravens. There's nothing else to be said. There isn't anything else.
So he feels as if there's nothing else to be said. The Bengals will lose here, right here.
Right here, right now, on this show.
Right here.
You catch it here on Sunday.
Picks edition. Casey, Bengals or Ravens?
By the way, you're muted.
He said Bengals. I could read his lip. He muted himself again. He muted himself before he could even say what he wanted to say because he knows he's crazy.
Oh, he muted himself again.
Doing Reese.
I don't even know what he said. I'm gonna go. He said, "Go Ravens." Yeah, so that's what I heard.
Go Ravens, go.
Continuing on, we already talked about, of course, the Colts and the Browns. They're obviously playing. That was what we led the show with today, and then we'll jump to the Chiefs game real quick too. The Chiefs and the Raiders. I think this is gonna be a tough game for Kansas City, Justin. I think it's gonna be a tough one. The Raiders look kind of good. They look kind of good.
Who did the Raiders play last week? I can't remember, to be honest.
I can't either, but I know it is an Arrowhead.
They played the Bills last week. Yeah, it was Bills last week.
Yeah, which to keep up with the Bills, who are undefeated and in first place in the AFC East, that's pretty good.
That's true.
So, I mean, I think it's going to be tough. I'm going to go with the upset and go with the Raiders. I'm gonna go with the upset here, but I mean this one could go either way because I think the Raiders have looked really good. They've impressed me. Yep.
It's 2-2.
Oh,
you jerk!
What did I say?
The Colts have won 2 Super Bowls.
Oh, is it? Is it really? That's right. Y'all beat the Bears, right?
We beat the Bears and the Jets, I think. Yeah. Or no. We
you don't know your own history about
the Cowboys.
That's what he was looking up. That's
Cowboys.
No, my lord.
We beat the Cowboys.
Shame.
Terrible.
We beat America's team. How is that a shame?
Casey, does the Raider rise this week?
The Raider Raid? You want to know about the Raider Raid? The aid of the raid. You know what? I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna say the Chiefs are gonna get all cocky. You know, they think, oh, we're 4-1. We're so good.
4-1? You mean 4-0? Oh wait, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was getting ahead of myself. 5-1 after this week. 4-1.
5-1. We're skipping them. We're losing next week, right? Oh man. I mean,
so
we're gonna have to.
Wait.
So Casey said, "The Raiders go."
Yeah, but he said the Raiders is gonna win.
No, I was looking at another game, because I'm sorry, Justin. I mean, okay. Ooh, we won a Super Bowl. Ooh, we're so good now.
I'm not saying all that. I mean, we got bad games like last.
You say that every morning when you wake up. You're like, oh, we won the Super Bowl. We're so good.
I don't say it like that. I mean, my alarm clock is no, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Yeah, your alarm clock is probably Kansas City Chiefs. You've just won the Super Bowl. What are you gonna do now?
Go Disneyland, even though it's not open.
Well, they're not. They're not because they're gonna lose to the Raid because they're cocky,
Oh man.
and they're gonna go to 4-1, and the Raiders are gonna go to 3-2. I don't want to talk about it. Listen, it's
Alright.
it's because we didn't get a preseason. That's why.
That's we'll blame it. We'll blame it
That's
on
that.
that.
It's the preseason. That's what it is.
Um,
I didn't
Justin,
do.
how do you
What's that?
how do you feel? What, I mean, are you gonna pick the Raiders because they're in your division but not the Chiefs?
No, I'm okay. I think it's going to be a close game because the
He has to pick
Raiders.
outside of his division. So
Yeah, I got to pick outside my division, so I'm going with the Washington football team. No, no. I think this is going to be a tough game here. The Raiders always give us a good fight. Always, like I remember a few years ago when they beat us. They beat us at home at Arrowhead. It was I was at that game, which was very very disappointing. So, but nonetheless, I think the Chiefs are going to win here. We got to win.
that
What's
was
that?
a very good day. I marked that day on my calendar.
No,
It was,
it was bad day.
I
Very
celebrate that day every year as like a national holiday.
no, but this is a really good rivalry. I love this is our most and if you when you look at the AFC West, these are the two teams that really score off most of the time. I know what am I trying to say here? Like this is the marquee match for the AFC West. This is gonna be a good game though. I'm gonna look forward to this a lot.
I mean, who else is in the AFC West? I honestly can't think off the top of my head.
Broncos.
Go Chargers! Go!
Yeah.
And the Broncos.
The Broncos.
My point exactly. Until Arnold Schwarzenegger calls a game, I can't.
Man.
While everybody is probably a little curious about the Sam Darnold issue, Sam Darnold has an AC sprain, so he will not start this week. Joe Flacco will start this week. That's why that happened. So we'll jump to that game real quick. Jets versus Cardinals. I think it's gonna be a tough one for the Jets, just because I think the Cardinals are actually pretty good. They got to go on the road, but I still think they'll be okay. That's a pretty decent trip, but still, Cardinals. I gotta go with the Cardinals. I love Joe, but being thrown into the fire that quickly, I'm going with the Cardinals on this one. Let's kick it to Justin.
Okay, so here we go. You know, I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals here.
How'd your phone interview go?
Justin had an interruption. Let's go to Casey real quick.
I mean, now I'm curious how it went. Like DJ said, being thrown into the fire that quick, on top of the fact that your team is 0-4, is not going to be an easy task. So I got to go with the Cardinals. They're going to bring the grass.
All right. I think Justin may be ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, so
How'd it go?
Before I was so it went great. Before I was so rudely interrupted, I'm going with the Cardinals.
All righty. Moving into the next one, which was the Buccaneers and the Bears. Buccaneers. The Bears are not good. They're not. They're 3-1, but they're not. The Buccaneers and the Bears are not the same team. like they got the same record, but they're not the same team. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers. I don't trust Nick Foles when he gets a little too comfortable. So, and I think he feels like it's his spot to lose now. So, yeah, Buccaneers. I do feel like, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I do feel like the Bears have been so busy criticizing Mitch and trying their best to bench Mitch and kill his confidence, that they've been so busy doing that they haven't done a good job of actually progressing and letting him progress, like allowing him, like developing him. Like literally, when Matt Nagy came in, they literally tailored the offense around him, and then they just stopped doing that. They just made him into something that he's not, or something that he's not ready to be. So why do that? Number one, they got rid of his bruiser running back in Jordan Howard, which I think was really dumb. And I think that's really where their biggest issue is. I think they got the talent on the outside. I just think they need a really good bruiser running back. They got the speed back there, but I think, and maybe David Montgomery is that, but he just hasn't proven it to me yet. But I think that's one of the bigger issues too, is that backfield. Tariq Cohen's out for the year. David Montgomery, I'm on the fence about him. So I think that's a real big issue for Chicago. Casey.
Yeah, if you told me these two teams had the same record, I wouldn't believe you unless I looked at it myself, because again, like you said, they are not the same team at all. I feel like the Bucks are just a completely different caliber team than the Bears. So and plus, at the end of the day, the Bucks have Brady, and I feel like he's turned out to be pretty good for them. I don't think he's up to the level of where he was obviously with the Patriots, but they still have one of the best quarterbacks in the league at their disposal. So I gotta go with the Bucks.
All right, Justin.
Okay. So there's two things. You got pretenders and you got contenders. The Bears don't look anything like contenders. They are definitely pretenders here. So I'm going to have to go with the Bucks to win here, and not the Young Bucks, and not the Milwaukee Bucks. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're winning.
What about Pat Buck?
Pat Buck. I mean, yeah, Pat Buck. Yeah, he's a new coach.
What about Uncle Buck? What about
Uncle Buck? You can't go wrong with Uncle Buck either.
All right. Rams versus the Washington football team. I think this was pretty easy. I'm going with the Rams. I still feel like this is the hard part for me, because when I look at the NFC East, I look at Dallas. They're not good. Not to me. I look at the Eagles. They're not good. Not to me. I don't really trust Washington. I don't really trust the Giants. But something's like telling me the Giants or Washington is going to win this division. I don't know why, but something is like in the back of my mind is like something's crazy is going to happen with this division the way it's going right now. And it's either going to be Washington or it's going to be New York. It just depends on who puts it together first. And I mean, I don't know which team can really put it together first. Washington's got that really solid defense, and if they if they can get their offense going with any consistency, Antonio Gibson is a stud. I feel like after watching him last week, if he gets more carries, I think he's going to be really good. I think they got a chance to really win the division and sneak up on some people. But people, I mean, they got to take care of the division games, though. They got to take care of the Cowboys. They got to take care of the Giants, and they got to take care of the freaking Eagles. And I think any team in that division can beat any other team in that division. I would rather it be the Giants, but that's just me. That's me being a Danny Dimes fanboy at this point. But I'd rather be the Giants, but I think it might be Washington. If I had to pick somebody that wasn't Dallas and wasn't Philly, looking at the defense of Washington, I think it's going to be Washington, because I think all they got to do is let Antonio Gibson run the freaking football, and then because that gives you one more option on offense, and then Terry McLaurin's going to get his. Somebody else just got to step up in the receiver role, whether that's Logan Thomas or any of the other receivers that they may have. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody else besides Terry. Terry's going to get his. We know that. Antonio Gibson looked like the type of guy who's going to get his too. So offensively, they just got to put it all together. But they're still really young, and that's kind of the issue. They're really young with a bad offensive line. So be sure if y'all feel the same way I do that the Cowboys or the Eagles aren't going to win this division, feel free to to chime in and say that. But I'll give it to Justin. Casey, he's ready.
You think the 0-4 Giants have a chance to win this division?
Bruh, everybody else is
actually kind of agree a little bit with that.
Look, come on, Casey,
Danny Dimes.
1-3. Dallas is 1-3. The Eagles are 1-2-1. Yes, the 0-4 Giants have a chance. They're 2 games back from the Eagles.
They couldn't get one win in 4 weeks. Not one.
Dallas would be 0-4 if Atlanta wasn't a freaking dumpster fire. Like,
yeah, dude, it's a mess in the NFC East.
No, the dumpster fire is the Jets. Get it right.
Casey, who do you? I mean, do you think that Washington may come back and? I mean, I know you do, but thoughts on the game and the division? And
I think Washington already tells you right in its little logo. They get the dub. Let's see. Can I do? I can't turn my camera around, but it's a dub, and that's what they gonna get.
All you gotta do is flip it, Casey.
I don't
flip your phone. Aren't you using your phone?
I don't want to flip my phone. That's difficult. That's real.
Let's
hard.
flip this.
Wait. Let's see. Can you see it? I can't.
No, you can't see. It's too freaking small.
It's a dub. It's a dub. I don't. They could be like 14-1, and I would still say they're gonna get the dub.
Brandon chimed in and said, "Don't hate on his boys because they have it tough." Brandon, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'll leave the comment up for a minute. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't trust Dallas. I don't trust the Eagles. I really don't trust the other teams either. But wouldn't it be crazy if the Giants or Washington won this division? Like, mind blown. Mind freaking blown.
Gonna win this division. I don't understand this. Wouldn't it be crazy if they're gonna? It's gonna happen. Watch.
Justin, thoughts on this dumpster fire of a division and this game as well?
I mean, I definitely agree with you. Like, either Washington or New York is going to win this division. I mean, this is just a dumpster fire, straight dumpster juice.
What did they say about the debate? That's what it is.
Yeah.
What the hell is dumpster juice?
Oh man. Nah, but the Rams are gonna win here. I can't even do it anymore. I can't. That's not even close to a ram. That's like a goat or a.
We've been saying this for like literal years.
Yeah. But I still I don't know. How do you even make a ram noise? I don't even know.
I like how you're like, no, that's not even close. When what you were doing originally wasn't even close to what a ram sounds like.
Yeah, man. No, but the Rams are gonna win.
All right. Moving forward, we got the Bills and the Titans. Bills. I mean, I like the Titans. The Titans are actually pretty decent. But the Bills are like that, as I like to say. So I'm going with the Bills. I'm going with the Bills. I might try to get Brandon in here and ask him, does he really feel like the Giants or the Washington football team is going to win the NFC East the way it's looking. I'm about to send this man the link and get him in here. I want to hear some insight from an NFC East guy. Casey.
I mean, wait, what's the Titans
3-0.
They're 3-0.
3-0? Okay, but they're not 4-0 like the Billy Bills. I'm still waiting for them to draft an entire team, all of guys named Bill. That I feel like that's the only way that you really get back to the Super Bowl, because they're gonna do good, but they're not gonna make it to the Super Bowl until their entire team is all Bills.
All dollar bills?
Did I say dollar bill? I mean Bills. Bills. Williams. The Bill. But no, the Bills definitely got this. I don't see the Titans beating the. No, I just don't see it.
All right, Justin, it's on you, and you can also start first on the Eagles Steelers game. But before you do that, Bills Titans. Who do you got?
Is this game even gonna be happening? Because of what happened last week, and I don't
Maybe
know.
not.
It might not happen, but if it does, if it does happen, I'm going with the Bills to win here. I mean, Titans technically have this was kind of their bye week, I guess. I don't know. So I'm gonna go with the Bills though.
Explain to me how the NBA has no issues with the COVID.
Because they beat a bubble.
But every other sport, like, come on now. It's not that hard, people. This is your job.
This is why we can't have nice things.
I feel
Because people don't learn, Casey. People do not learn. They don't learn anyway.
Well, I mean, according to the orange guy in the White House, when you get it,
what was that?
I mean,
anyway.
Repeat that, Casey. I think you lagged a little bit there.
I said, according to
gonna be a good joke.
In the White House, he finally is starting to understand it because he has it now. So apparently you have to get it to learn about it.
I mean, but didn't he come out of the hospital with COVID with his Secret Service to wave at his people? Come on now.
I mean, he still got COVID. He's just at home now.
Anyway, moving forward. Did you pick the Eagles Steelers game, Justin?
I haven't, but
how do you feel? Eagles, Steelers.
Steelers are winning.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna say Justin and Casey.
I mean, I can pick again. I can pick for Casey if you want.
Well, we know he ain't picking the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Steelers for him.
He's a traitor.
I hate the Eagles. Steelers all day.
Maybe that's how people in Texas feel. they're like, some of them are just like, I hate the Cowboys.
I hate the Texans.
Well, at least the Texans aren't as obnoxious as the anyway.
No, they're pretty bad though. They're pretty. No, that's a dumpster fire.
Really?
That's
the Texans are that bad.
That's a dumpster fire right there.
That bad. They are not to the caliber of other dumpster fires.
Unfortunately, I unfortunately have to go with the Steelers here, as much as it pains me, and I could probably cry.
You're not doing the Justin way.
I'm going to cheer for the Eagles with all my heart, but I feel like the Steelers are just the better team for now. I mean, the Eagles. I mean, if they could put like two halves together, they might be able to be okay. They could put two halves together, but
I mean, they couldn't beat the Bengals. I'm just saying.
I mean, the
They,
Bengals
ga-
got a
they,
win.
ga- they
Right?
gave up. They gave up.
I mean, the Bengals do got a win. So,
So the Eagles have won.
the Eagles are also in first place in the NFC East. So, I mean, they did something right by not losing, by tying and not losing. Like, I mean, they did something right. Okay. But moving on to the Jaguars and the Texans. Casey, gonna start with you. The Jaguars or the Texans?
The Jaguars.
I mean,
Jaguars.
are you serious? Or
I'm a this COVID baby.
all right. Justin, how do you feel? I'm getting Brandon in here as well, real quick.
Jaguars.
The Jaguars or the Texans? Yeah, I mean the Texans are about to be 0-5 here. The Jaguars are gonna win. The reason why, the reason why is because Le Champion is gonna be there front row. He's gonna be there. The whole AEW roster is gonna be cheering on them Jaguars. Them Jaguars.
In Houston?
They're gonna go all the way to Houston?
Oh, it's not home. What's that? No, they're gonna travel. They're gonna go with the team. They're gonna go with the team, and they're gonna be front row.
I mean, last time they went to a game, it didn't turn out too well, so I don't think that's a good idea.
maybe they might end up getting the last if they come. Nah, but the Jaguars are gonna win.
It was too much pressure, man. It was too much pressure.
Actually, hold on. Let me.
Oh, he gonna change his pick.
No, I'm staying with Jaguars.
I'm going with the Texans. I don't trust the Jaguars.
How can you not trust the Jaguars? They've been the best team in the league since they joined the league.
I mean, the same reason that I can't trust the Jaguars. Because I mean, they give me trust issues. Moving on, Panthers and the Falcons. I'm gonna go a little NFC South matchup. I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I think the Falcons are terrible, even though they didn't look as bad against the Packers. But I think they're still terrible. So I'm gonna go with the Panthers. They got all that talent, and you can't. You got Todd Gurley, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, that other dude that y'all drafted. Like, what the heck is? Come on, Atlanta. What are you doing? Anyway, Panthers. Justin.
Yeah, the Panthers are winning. That Falcons team, jeepers. DJ, I mean, you said it really good. I mean, they got all this good. They got Julio. Julio, what you doing over there, man? What you doing?
I mean, Julio's doing fine. It's just they ain't scoring.
They ain't scoring. Yeah.
Or they're scoring and then letting the teams come back on them.
Yeah, dude. The Panthers are winning here.
All right. Moving forward, the Dolphins and the 49ers.
Wait, did Casey pick this game?
Did you Casey pick this game? Oh, we're going to skip Casey.
Where's the skip over?
There we go. We're good. No, I'm kidding.
We're good now.
Casey, sorry. Panthers, Falcons. I know you're going to say the Falcons are terrible, and the Panthers going to win. I mean, this is easy. Like, simple.
Don't tell me what I'm going to say, because you don't know what I'm going to say.
You should say that.
I was going to say that win, lose, or draw, Julio's still making that money, though. Like, I'm just saying. Like, they all still got their contract. So, I mean, I don't think they really cared at the end of the day. They still getting the paychecks. The Panthers. Yeah.
Okay. Seemed easy. Moving into the Dolphins and the 49ers. Going to get Brandon in here. He can hop on for the rest of the picks here. Dolphins and the 49ers. Then we'll give let him give his insight on the Washington team that plays the football. The Dolphins and the 49ers. Let's start with Brandon. New guy in. Might as well.
Hey.
What's up, Brandon?
How you doing?
Long time no see, man.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
I know. I just sweated out that Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Lakers are one win away from the NBA championship. So
should have been a sweep, Brandon. Should have been a sweep.
It should have been. It should have been. They he hauled around a little too much, and they should have put it away. But getting to the heart of the matter, talking about the NFC East.
Yeah, NFC East.
The putrid garbage of the NFL. I tell you what. It is. I've been watching football since 1995, NFL football 1995. This is the absolute dirt worst I have ever seen the NFC East. I mean, it is so bad. Dallas has all the offense in the world, but they have zero defense. They decide to show up in the fourth quarter. They're like, oh, my God, we're down 20-some points. We got to start scoring points now. And they waited too late on Sunday. I never would have thought I'd ever see the Browns throw up 49 points against anybody. And the Eagles, I mean, what is there to say? I mean, they couldn't even beat the Bengals. And then
is Carson Wentz just scared at this point, Brandon? What's going on with Carson Wentz? Like, is he scared of getting hurt or what?
I think he's so gun shy because he's been hurt so much in his career. I'm still shocked that they won Sunday. I really am. I thought the Niners were going to wipe the floor with them, and they didn't. They just kind of let them hang around, and then the more they let them hang around. But the Niners, obviously, they have their problems. They have a lot of injuries. The injuries are just ridiculous that they're going up against right now. And
I mean, the entire league. Have we seen injuries like this before? Like, never. Casey and I talked about it a little bit when we like week one. I think I mentioned that I felt like it was going to be. It was a fear of mine that no preseason and all of that was going to be an issue. Like I just felt like there was something off about the season coming into this season.
Yeah. Well, also, no preseason at all. The guys had probably not practiced hardly at all. Everybody's coming in cold. And you've seen so many. The one thing that's been crazy is all the ACL injuries.
Yeah.
The ACL injuries have just been insane. I just can't believe that, what McCaffrey hurting his but, also have Saquon tearing his ACL. And now the Giants' offense is just, oh, my goodness. Now they're having to rely on Daniel Jones, and he just isn't cutting it. And
I don't even know if that's what's hard too, Brandon. I don't know if Daniel Jones is the issue, or is it he never gets to play with Saquon. I swear, the kid never gets to play with Saquon. Like that poor guy.
He doesn't. It's just crazy. I mean, they're very snake bit. But the thing is, right now, I feel like the Cowboys are going to win this division by default. But the thing is, whoever wins this division is probably going to get smoked in the first round. I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts. I think whoever wins the division is going to get smoked in the first round by whoever they play. Right now, I feel like the NFC is a two-horse race right now, even though it's early. I think the two teams that you got to look out for is Green Bay and Seattle.
Yeah.
I think those are the two teams. AFC, Justin, you're going to like this. I think your boys are the cream of the crop right now in the AFC.
Yeah,
I mean, but come on, Brandon. I don't think they look good against the Patriots, and I don't think they look good against the Chargers. I know they got the Ravens game. They blew us out. But we didn't run the football enough, Brandon. Come on. You know we didn't run the football enough. We got too freaking panicky, and we're like, let's throw the ball. Run the freaking football 30 times and you win the game.
Well, the thing is, I mean, that Mahomes is dealing when he's throwing touchdown passes to offensive linemen.
Yeah.
When he's throwing
yeah.
The guy is dealing when he's doing that. And thing is, that was such a weird game on Monday night. By the way, how weird was it watching a Monday night football game on CBS?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I didn't mind it. I liked it.
I liked it. CBS is so much better than ESPN when it comes to NFL coverage.
Oh, agreed. Like, I don't even know why they have their game. I don't know why they have a deal with ESPN.
I just can't stand it. I think ESPN. Well, at least they finally got Booger McFarland off of the broadcast.
Yeah.
The actual broadcast, because honestly, he made John Madden look like a Rhodes Scholar. I mean, it was ridiculous how. He would say stuff that wouldn't make any sense at all. But I tell you, the thing is, like watching some of these games, you're not seeing a lot of really great football right now. But I have to say, like the teams that really have impressed me has been Green Bay. Seattle impressed me until I was really surprised at how pedestrian they looked against Miami. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I agree.
But those cross country games can be kind of tricky. But what game were you on, DJ, with the picks?
We were on
Miami and
the
Niners.
Dolphins and the 49ers. I was saying though, real quick before we get into it, I was saying I feel like if the Ravens run the football 30 times, nobody's beating them. And Justin agreed. Casey was like, but Justin agreed. But I feel like, and when I looked at the stats, and I like I told them, I was obsessed with this Chiefs loss because everybody's like, they're throwing the football too much. They're doing this. They're doing that. The defense is terrible. I'm like, if they would just run the football like they do in every other game, if they didn't win, it would have been close. I'm like, what's happening? How do you feel about that, Brandon? Because I feel like not only do we have the best rushing offense in the league, but we have 4 options. There's no reason to not run the football. We have 4 freaking options.
Well, that's that thing is like right now you see a lot of still inconsistent play. I feel like we're going to see a lot of more have to have a little more fluidity with the scheduling. I have a feeling that we might see some Wednesday night football and Thursday night football and stuff like, or more Thursday night football games, which God forbid, that's been a disaster so far. These Thursday night football games matchups have not been that great. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
I feel like this week the Thursday night game is going to be a lot better than the ones we've seen because, I mean, at least it's not going to be on NFL Network anymore. Because I tell you, those NFL Network games, I mean, they always put on the crappy games on NFL Network. So this week kind of looks more positive than like especially last week what we had and the week before. So I give them the shout of the doubt here. Hopefully it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think Brandon. I think they're gonna have to do something. Just because I just don't think COVID's gonna let them finish this season. I'm surprised they didn't do a bubble. I know they didn't really want to do a whole season in the bubble, but I mean the NBA they're the perfect example of what you should do. I feel like so. Let me see. Dolphins 49.
I think there's going to be a lot of flexibility. I'm sorry, it seems like the sound's going in and out.
I think it's like it looks like it's disconnecting a little bit for some reason. I don't know why. Not sure. Not certain. I think. I don't know. Is anybody else having an issue with me specifically, or is it more Brandon?
I mean, I can barely hear Brandon that much.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's the connection with him.
Okay, huh? It might be.
There's always somebody that it disconnects.
Always something. That's why we can't have nice things.
But we'll move into the Dolphins and 49ers game. Hopefully Brandon will get back, in full swing here. Just let me know if you can hear everything. Dolphins 49ers. This is a weird one because without Jimmy G, I don't think Jimmy G is the greatest thing in the world, but I think at the same time, Jimmy G is a good guy to have in that spot. He's going to protect the football. He's not going to make mistakes. He's going to do what he's going to do what he needs to do to help the 49ers win. So without Jimmy G, I'm going to go with the Dolphins to get the win here. I'm going to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins to get the win here. Let's just go with Brandon. Hopefully he can hear me. Brandon, can you pick the can you hear me? Can you pick the 49ers Dolphins game?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
49. Yeah, I'm gonna say 49ers. I think they'll bounce back, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see the game actually be close. Where is it? Is it at the 49ers or at the Dolphins?
Yeah, it's at the 49ers. Yeah, it's in San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay, all right. Well, I'll say I think Niners are going to win, and I think that they'll bounce back. I still am a little surprised they've lost to the Eagles on Sunday, but I think that they'll bounce back and get a big win to stay afloat in the NFC West, which I think's going to be a very tough division this year.
Right. Real quick before we move to the next person, what do you think about the Washington game versus the Rams this week?
Yeah. I watched a little bit of the Rams Giants game. Was really surprised that the Giants. I kind of figured the Rams would kind of walk away with the game towards the end. I have to say, I think the Rams will win. I think Washington still has a lot of question marks at the quarterback position. I just don't think Haskins might not be starting probably within the next week or two. I think you might see Alex Smith make an appearance, but I don't know how effective he's going to be because he hasn't played in 2 years, and he's very fortunate he's able to come back because that injury was so devastating.
And, I think he should win comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's actually walking and actually is on a team is incredible. I think it just shows how what a warrior he is, and I think it's going to be a close game. Usually, every time the Rams and Washington have played the past, those games have been close. I think it could be like about a one-score game, but I think the Rams have enough experience, I think, and weapons. I think that they'll get the job done, and I think Washington will fall to 1-4. I have a feeling that Washington's hold on the NFC East is going to end this week.
Back to Justin on the game we're on. The Dolphins 49ers game.
You know what? I'm putting the Dolphins on upset alert. They're going to go into San Francisco and beat the Niners. And I just got a notification on Twitter that someone is following me, but okay, whatever about that.
I mean, since we're talking about your Twitter, go ahead and shout it out while you're here. I mean, so people can follow you. It might have been somebody watching. You never know.
Yeah, go follow me on Twitter at the True JSB, or as Casey would like to say, the false JSB. That's what Casey calls himself on the fantasy football team, but whatever.
Casey, do you think the Fins get the wins?
Why is Justin the only one that said anything about that? I changed my name like 2 weeks ago on there.
Casey, I was so confused. I thought he changed his own name to the false JSB. So I'm like, all right, let me go see what Justin got going on with his team. Then I realized it was you.
But do you see how many points I put up this week?
It was pretty ridiculous.
200 points, bro.
Wow, bro.
Wow, bro.
I think I beat that Chiefs guy. I don't know his name. Whatever. That Chiefs fan. I mopped the floor with him. I don't even know why you're asking me about this game. You know the Fins get the wins.
I just want to make sure that the Fins do indeed get the wins. So I mean, I just had to make sure.
It never changes. The Fins get the wins.
I can totally see it. I can totally see the Dolphins winning. Definitely.
Ooh, interesting one here. The Giants and the Cowboys. Jockeying for that NFC East positioning. For whoever. You know what? You know what? I'm going with the Giants. I think the Giants are going to get the upset here, and they're going to prove that the Dallas Cowboys are absolute frauds. I'm going with the New York Football Giants to beat the Cowboys. Now, if the Giants do find a winning formula to beat the Cowboys, and they just kind of copy and paste the rest of the games, then we might see some. Well, I mean, the Cowboys' defense is terrible, so I mean that does open it up for the Giants to have a good game. So I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna go with the Giants to prove that Dallas is an absolute fraud. Let's go to Justin.
I want to go with Danny Dimes. I do. You know, I'm gonna have crap. This one's a hard one because both teams are pretty bad. I mean, like Dallas doesn't want to play until the end. Like, what the? Come on, NFL. Why are you doing this to me? You know, this week I'm gonna say the Cowboys win here, but well, you know, we'll see how the Giants play this week. We'll see if they do get the wins. I got faith in you, Danny Dimes. I do. I want you to show me that you can win and win this division.
All
But
right.
no, this week I'm going with the Cowboys.
All right, Brandon.
Well, seeing these games have been on TV so often over the years. I mean, speaking of which, what is up with this? I know this game is not on Sunday Night Football, but it seems like every year that
It's America's game of the week.
I know it seems like they're always on Sunday Night Football, but the thing is, I think as much as the Cowboys are struggling, especially on defense, I think their offense will be too much for the Giants to overcome. I think the only way the Giants are going to win this game or have an opportunity to win this game is if Dallas turns the ball over. And if Dallas turns the ball over, then this game could get interesting. I think Daniel Jones doesn't have the weapons that Dak Prescott has. Dak Prescott has Ezekiel Elliott, CeCe Lamb, Mari Cooper, got some great weapons. But the thing is, I really don't think the Giants have the offense to really challenge the Cowboys' just absolutely putrid defense. And I think that Giants, it's been a long time since the Giants have really had any sustained success against the Cowboys. It's been almost 10 years. It's been, I think, ever since the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl was the last time that they beat the Cowboys 2 straight games, at least 2 straight games. And I think Cowboys are going to win, but I could see this game being kind of ugly. But I think towards the end, I think you'll see the Cowboys pull away and beat 2 and 3, and they'll be on top of the NFC East after Sunday, whatever that's worth.
All right, back to Casey. He's here.
Can I go with the refs? Because this is definitely a game that you go with the refs. Because the refs never lose, never, not never, except like occasionally when they get run over and hit. But still,
Oh man,
man. I gotta go with the Cowboys just with how. Again, but then again, it could just be a toss-up.
Could be.
I'm going with the Cowboys, but they're on upset alert, which is a weird thing to say for this game.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if they can lose to the Browns, and I'm not hating on the Browns because the Browns are actually a pretty decent football team this year, I think. I think they're actually are scoring points. It's so crazy. I saw a stat that Odell Beckham has scored more touchdowns by himself than the Giants have the entire season thus far. He's got 4 touchdowns. Giants have 3. But the one thing is, being a Washington fan, I know one thing: the Giants look like garbage in every game except two, and that's against Washington both times. I don't understand why. I never have. But Washington always struggles against the Giants, especially when Eli Manning played. When Eli Manning played, Eli Manning looked like John Elway when he played Washington. And I just, thankfully, they're not playing Washington this week, but I definitely think that the Giants are a team that could potentially be in the running for Trevor Lawrence in next year's draft, which that guy's legit. I think he's going to be a hell of a quarterback. If I was, I think the Jets might have that on lock.
Yeah, the Jets have that on lock.
They have it on lock. They got it going.
Moving into the Broncos Patriots game. This one's tough because if Drew Lock's not playing, the Broncos are just not good. If Drew Lock's not playing, they look completely different when he doesn't play. So I got to go with the Patriots. I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this one. I mean, even with whatever is gonna happen with their quarterback situation, because I'm assuming Cam has to be out
I
for
think
this week too.
maybe. Yeah, he probably has to.
There's no way they're gonna let him play this week. After getting COVID, like I feel like they got to at least let him sit this week, and then he can come back the week at next week. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this one. Justin.
Yeah, the Patriots gonna win here. I mean, both these. I mean, if Cam was playing, I was saying, yeah, definitely, most definitely the Patriots. But since Drew Lock's not playing for the Broncos, yeah, the Broncos are not winning here, and I gotta go my Justin way. I gotta go pick outside my division, around my division, and ultimately I have to pick pick that team. No, I'm just kidding. Nah, but the Patriots are gonna win here.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah, I have to go with the Pats on this one. Broncos are just pretty. They're a very pedestrian team, and I think even though the Patriots probably will be like you said, DJ, they will not have Cam Newton obviously because he's still recovering from COVID. I feel like the Patriots are still good enough to beat this Broncos team even without Cam Newton, and I think they win. But I was going to ask really quick: is the game in Denver or is it New England?
It's New England.
New England, okay. Well, thing is, it being October, the weather's not going to be a factor. But I feel like if the game was in Denver, they might have more of a chance just because of the fact they have to travel cross country and play in the high elevation in Denver. I feel like that would be they'd have an opportunity to win the game. But I think Pats win. Pats win by at least 10.
All right, Casey.
Yeah,
He muted his mic.
I unmuted. Did you remute it after I unmuted it?
No, you might have no, I unmuted it. You might have remuted it
twice.
One of us remuted it when the other unmuted it.
Somebody's remuting people. Get it.
But the COVID thing worries me because I don't want them to rush him back. They say with COVID you have to quarantine for at least 4 to 5 weeks, and that worries me that they're going to try to get him back as quick as possible, and he's not going to be completely cured. He's not going to be over it, and it's just going to spread even more. And it especially worries me because he's one of the quote top quarterbacks in the league. So it's not like he's a backup. It's not like he's a practice squad guy. That worries me. But I still got to go with the Patriots. I just feel like I trust them a little bit more. Yeah.
All right. Moving into the Vikings versus the Seahawks game. Um, I mean, the Vikings did win last week, but albeit it was against the Texans. Uh, so I don't put a lot of merit into that right now. Looking at the way the Texans look, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. I just think they're the better team right now. They look good. I mean, sloppy loss, sloppy loss against the not sloppy loss, but sloppy win, I should say, against Miami. But nonetheless, they still got the win. So I think they'll bounce back against Minnesota. Hope Justin Jefferson keeps playing well, though. He looks like he's finally maybe hitting his stride. So that's nice to see. Because it looked like for a while he wasn't going to hit that stride. So it's good to see that he's getting some touches. But Seahawks win this one. Justin.
I'm surprised that the Seahawks, that from last week, that Seahawks Miami game was like closer than what it was. Because this Dolphins team, they actually, they actually be showing some good progress. So I'm happy they had a close game last week. But I feel like this game right here with the Seahawks and the Vikings, I feel like it's not going to be that close. The Seahawks are going to win here. And like Brandon said, there's really only a two-way. There's only a two-way race going on right now in the NFC, which is the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, don't forget about Cowboys fans. They're in there too.
Oh yeah, Cowboys fan. That's the reason why they added that extra playoff spot for the Cowboys to get. Even though the Cowboys aren't going, they probably won't get that. It's going to be New York or Washington.
I don't know. Can't sleep on the Buccaneers either. But anyway,
Buccaneers are going to win their division.
To Brandon.
All right. Well, which game are we picking now?
We're doing Vikings Seahawks.
Vikings Seahawks. Okay. Vikings are just having a really disappointing start to the season. Sorry about that. But yeah, they're having a disappointing start to the season.
That's what he thinks about the Vikings start to the season, guys.
What's that?
I was saying that's what he thinks about the Vikings start to the season, guys.
Yeah. But with the Seahawks, I think they're the better team. I think Russell Wilson is. I think when it's all said and done, I think he's probably going to be the one who wins the MVP of the NFL this year. I think he means that much to the Seahawks, and I think that they should win this game pretty handily. I just don't have a lot of faith in the Vikings right now. I feel like the person they should be going to is Dalvin Cook instead of having to rely on Kirk Cousins. And that isn't right. Me as a bitter Washington.
Agreed. I agree.
Dalvin Cook is one of the best players in the NFL who does not get used enough, in my opinion. And I think Kirk Cousins is not worth the money that he got paid.
Okay. Spot on. Casey.
I don't like how nobody respects the Vikings. They had that one really good season.
that one.
With Case Keenum. With Case Keenum.
Right.
They had that one really good season, and y'all just don't respect them.
Well, it's like Case Keenum, and ever since then, when they got Mr. You Like That, I just don't think that he has been worth the paper he got paid. I think he got paid a little too much.
I'm still giving him a chance. I'm going with the Vikings.
I think the Vikings are playing catch up right now when it comes to Green Bay. I mean, they're even behind Chicago.
That's not saying
We know Chicago's a fraud. Anyway,
Exactly.
we got the Chargers and the Saints. I'm gonna say this as nicely as I can for you Saints fans. But go Chargers! Go Chargers win. I don't know if Michael Thomas is coming back, but until he does, I just can't trust the Saints right now. I mean, Michael Thomas, he might be the MVP. It looks like, looking at the way the Saints look. I'm going with the Chargers on this one. Justin.
I mean, what I'm going to do here. Go outside my division, around my division, and all that crazy stuff. No, the Saints are gonna win here. The Saints are winning here.
Yeah. If you say so, we're gonna change it up and go to Casey.
I'm just gonna say GCG. Go Chargers. Go.
All right. Brandon, do we have one more? Go Chargers. Go.
Well, I have to say, I think I'm gonna go against the grain with you guys. I think the Saints are gonna win, but I think this one is gonna be a nail biter. I think I definitely could see this going the other way, but I have to say I'm gonna go with the Saints. But I think it's gonna be a very close game, very similar to the game they had against the Lions this past week. But the Chargers have actually been pretty good for the most part. That they're a young team, and I think
Is
Herbert
playing
is.
this game?
What's that?
I said, is Justin Herbert playing this game also?
He is, I believe.
Because I remember their coach saying that they're going to go back to Tyrod Taylor because it's saying
I think
that.
that's a mistake because I think
Yeah,
Herbert,
that most definitely is a mistake. Like, oh yeah,
and I like Tyrod Taylor. Him being a Virginia boy and everything.
Wait, doesn't Tyrod Taylor have a punctured lung?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, he has a
Right.
lawsuit waiting to happen. He has a pretty good case for a lawsuit with the whole deal with the doctor giving him that shot. So I think that right now he might be a liability to the franchise right now, and I think Herbert's actually the real deal. I thought he was really good in college, and I think he's really good now. And I think that they definitely have a chance. Where is the game being played? Is it being played in Los Angeles or New Orleans?
it's going to be in New Orleans.
New Orleans, okay. Well, the thing is, the one thing that really hurts during this pandemic is like certain teams with their home crowds. The Saints have such a great home crowd at the Superdome, and I feel like right now them not having their home crowd with them is just really killing their vibe, and I think that's really killing them having that big home field advantage.
I mean, it doesn't really kill them when they're on the offense because that when the Saints are on offense when there's usually a crowd there, that whole arena is dead. That whole stadium is dead silent.
Yeah, they're a smart football crowd.
I mean, it's like church. I mean, that's like their church. They're all quiet. They don't say anything. They don't scream or anything. Like you can hear a pin drop.
Well, the thing is, that's the way it should be. When your team is on offense, they should be dead silent, not hooping and hollering and being loud. They should just be silent. But then when the team is on defense, then they should be loud
hooping
as
and
well.
hollering, doing saying everything. I agree. I totally agree. It's like the people in New Orleans are smart out there. They're smart.
Yeah. And it's one of the best home crowd advantages, and I think that that's one thing that they're really missing so far this year. And unfortunately, this whole thing is out of their hands. This COVID thing is completely out of their hands, and they just don't have that home crowd this year. And I think that would have made a big difference, especially when they played Green Bay on that Sunday night game last week. I think that could have been their 12th man and could have helped them out, especially. And by the way, that was one heck of a ball game as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think the Saints are going to win, but I think this is going to be a very close game.
Exactly. I think, and I think the Saints will be back once Michael Thomas comes back. I just think we're really seeing how effective he is at what he does for
He's
the
very
Saints.
valuable.
Yeah.
Very valuable.
So but that'll do it for the week
I don't
five
think
picks. Did Casey pick? I could have swore he said go Chargers go.
Oh yeah, he did pick.
He did.
Yeah,
He did say go Chargers.
I was tripping there.
What I thought. But yeah, that'll do it for the week five picks. Appreciate Brandon for coming by a little bit later on, but he got
Yeah.
in here and got a chance. I know he always ends up watching.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely love listening to you guys. When it comes to sports or wrestling, or right now it's. I feel like wrestling is still being affected by not having an audience right now.
it
A
is.
true audience. I think out of every single form of entertainment and sports, I feel like wrestling is being affected more by not having a true audience.
Yeah, I to add to that, again, I was just watching, finally getting to watch Takeover, and it's so, and not even just Takeover, but I also saw highlights from Impact, and it's so weird with no one out there. I mean, at least with Impact or with like NXT, they have like NXT trainees out there, like to give some sort of a crowd effect. But like Impact, there's nobody, and I saw a promo that one of the guys was cutting in the ring, and it was so awkward and silent, where where you expect there to be a pop or you expect there to be a boo, it's nothing. And it's just, it throws you off so much. Not just the guys in the ring, but watching it at home, it's weird. But
It's just
unfortunately, there's nothing they can do.
it's eerie. It honestly, it's uncomfortable watching it because I've tried to watch a little bit of wrestling. I keep up with AEW on the regular. I've been keeping up with that pretty much since day one. I've really enjoyed AEW for the most part. I feel like they've done a better job of anybody with not having a crowd and having the talent there and having a limited crowd, especially having their own place, literally having their own place, Daly's place, has helped them out a lot. I feel like that has been a huge help. And thing is, like, I tried to watch some WWE, and I swear to you, it is as dull as dishwater. It is so dull.
Mm-hmm.
I even before the pandemic, I was starting to kind of get out of watching WWE, and the only way I keep up with WWE nowadays, really honestly, is through you guys or through Twitter. That's the only way I keep up with WWE.
Yeah, and if you're not a big SmackDown person, because I know for a while I wasn't either. I was getting dull vibes from Raw, but I feel like SmackDown is far better right now. When I do
SmackDown,
watch the main roster, it's
SmackDown. I
night and day
watched.
almost.
Yeah, I watched SmackDown a little bit this past week, and I have to say one thing: SmackDown was a hell of a lot better than what I saw on Raw this past Monday. I recorded Raw on the DVR and skimmed through it, and before the pandemic hit, I would record Raw and watch it back, and it would take me all of 5 minutes to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how boring it was to me. And
Raw has its
just
spots.
What?
Raw has its spots where it's like, okay, I enjoyed that, but then there's other stuff where you're just like, why? Like
I like the Hurt Business. Hurt Business is great.
Exactly, I like that too.
I love the Hurt Business.
That's like one of the only things that I watch Raw for is that, like, that's been fun. But like some of the other stuff they got, like, I don't know what the heck they're doing with Rollins. I don't like it. It's just, it's too much for me. It's too much for me. Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
I don't know. It's just the whole thing is weird.
So back to thing
honestly,
about
Rollins is a.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I was going to say Rollins is a great in-ring talent. It's just I don't know what his character is supposed to be.
Exactly.
his character's just,
Well,
it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Straight Edge Society CM Punk version. But the thing is, I don't think his promos are as strong. I just don't think I've never found him to be a good promo at all. And that's one thing WWE definitely does not have a whole lot of is guys with strong promos.
well, and kind of from my perspective, being in the business for about a year and a half, so not too long, but like I've learned a lot more than I knew before. And like one thing that bothers me now from from working in the business is guys, not necessarily, not to point out like Seth Rollins in general, but guys like that where their gimmick is just that them. Like your gimmick is supposed to be some sort of a character, some sort of like, yes, it should have a bit of you, but it should be a character like turned up to 11. But there's so many guys just in wrestling in general where it's like, what is your gimmick other than an indie wrestler? What is your gimmick other than yourself? Like there's no substance in a lot of these gimmicks, which is why I'm starting to really like more of the like outlandish gimmicks, like the Viking Raiders or whatever they're calling them this week.
Yeah.
I love that because it's a character. It's something crazy. It's something out of, it's not normal. Finn Balor as the demon. I love that.
Yeah. The Fiend is doing good stuff right
Yeah.
now. I feel like but it's weird. On one
Excuse me,
hand,
Impact.
yeah, it's crazy though because like on one hand, like I love the Fiend, I love Velveteen Dream, like I love those like crazy outlandish characters, but at the same time, I'm loving what Roman's doing, right? Like and that's like just a realistic. This seems like who he would really be type of a character. So it's like there has to be a balance, I think, and I think
Mhm.
there is something missing with that balance.
Well, and also to kind of piggyback off another thing that Brandon said was with the promos is, you know, and this is a little bit of selfishness, being a manager and wanting to, see more managers get to that spotlight, because I feel like in the major leagues, the big leagues, managers are kind of few and far between. Obviously you have Paul Heyman, and a few others, but I feel like that's a place where you could be using more managers as mouthpieces for these guys whose strong suit isn't promos. But at the same time, I still think everyone should be working on their promos, because that's a very fundamental part of pro wrestling. Because at the end of the day, pro wrestling is storytelling, and if you can't tell the story in multiple different forms, other than in ring, other than wrestling, you're kind of dropping the ball a little bit. I feel like so. Like I said, having managers does help. So I wish they would, do more with managers. But at the same time, guys, I feel like get a kind of lazy, and they're like, oh, I don't want to. I don't want to do a promo here. I don't want to do a promo for this match or for that match. I'm just gonna let my in-ring work, tell the story. Well, if you don't shoot a promo for the match, why are the fans gonna care why you two are having a match?
Exactly.
Like,
Mhm.
there's no point. Like, you could have two of the best wrestlers on your roster have a match. If I don't understand why they're having a match, or there's no reason for them to have a match, why do you think I'm going to get into it? Why do you think I'm going to be invested in it? And
Exactly.
a big part of that is cutting a promo, and it's not even that hard. A promo should be 30 to 60 seconds. Not hard. Really isn't.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, piggyback on what you're saying, Casey. The thing is that's missing in wrestling today. I especially agree with what you're saying about managers, because managers were such a big staple of wrestling back in the 70s and in the 80s, and even further back, even in the 60s. And I feel like guys like Bobby Heenan, or who's still missed to this day, and it's just such a shame that he got sick when he did, because I feel like he still could have brought something to the table in wrestling. But I feel like a lot of these guys, the biggest thing I have at WWE is everybody sounds, when people talk in WWE, they sound like robots. They sound like no human being on this planet would speak like that.
Exactly. The writers are in their ears, or Vince McMahon is in their ears. Like I
You
just hate.
see it with the commentary too, Justin. That's
Yeah, same with definitely with commentary. I noticed that so much.
it's
Like
boss time. If you said it one motherfucking time, Michael Cole.
Well,
you know what?
and
I can stand Michael Cole more than I can stand Josh Matthews.
and to add to that real quick, with how everything is so robotic in WWE, and all the promos sound the same, and you got to get your catchphrase in, even if it doesn't make any fucking sense, you got to get it in there. They don't
Well, the
realize
thing is, like,
they don't realize that trickles down, because guys coming up in the business, what do you think they're studying every week? What do you think they're watching every week? What do you think they're learning from every week? They're watching WWE. They're watching guys they look up to. And if they're seeing the same robotic promo every week, they're going to think, "Oh, well, that's how a promo should be." No. No, it shouldn't. A promo should
well,
be from in here.
there's three things about WWE that just completely throw me off, and that is the robotic promos, the fact that there's a pay per view every 3 weeks, which is too much,
Agreed.
and also my biggest pet peeve now is, oh my god, I had to take an Advil after I watched a WWE show not that long ago. I flipped on just to see what was going on. The camera cuts. Oh my god. Have you guys paid attention to
Yeah,
some
this
of
new whole Thunderdome stuff, like they do crazy camera cuts, like they be doing crazy stuff.
it's like the beatdowns. The beatdowns, like if somebody does a beatdown on somebody, it's like zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. I don't know what. I don't know if the people in the truck are drinking and they're just sloshed and they don't know what they're doing, or if
Probably.
somebody's having a seizure or something. I don't understand what is going on. It is it is the most. It looks terrible. It looks so bad.
To add to that, I think DJ and I did a review on a show. I forgot what pay-per-view it was, but I distinctly remember there was like a spot that had like 10 camera cuts in like a 5-second period. It was ridiculous.
It's probably SummerSlam. I feel like
It was so bad. Like it cut to like every little angle, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even like it was a replay. It was live and cut. And I'm like, why? Why?
Well, the thing is, like, Vince thinks he's going to win an Emmy one day, and I'm sorry, he has a better chance of winning a Razzie than winning an Emmy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is absolute putrid garbage. I think the worst thing that WWE ever did was having 4 different cameras now instead of just 2 like they used to. It just looks so. They try to. They think they're making movies, like Ben said in that Beyond the Mat documentary? You remember the scene where he said we make movies, and he took a swig out of his water jug or water bottle? He thinks he is like the Coen brothers or something. And really, honestly, he's about as on par as Michael Bay. Just
Yeah.
guy doesn't have it anymore. And honestly, as long as he is in charge of that company, I don't think they're ever going to grow ever again. They might make money in spite of themselves, but I think as long as he is the head honcho of that company, and he's not getting any younger, he's 75 now, I feel like as long as he's there, I think they need some fresh blood, some fresh ideas, and I just don't think they're getting that from Vince McMahon right now. Vince is the worst thing that ever happened to Vince McMahon was WCW closing. Just
Absolutely.
it gave him no competition.
And kind of, going off another point, I have a question for all of you guys. I kind of want to get your thoughts. I know DJ and I have talked about this a little bit in the past. With the pay-per-views, because we also agree that there are just too many between the main roster and NXT, and when the UK comes back, they have UK ones. It's just ridiculous. I will give NXT credit; they don't have one every month. They spread it out. But what do you guys think would be a good number of pay-per-views per year? I've always thought it would be like 6.
I'd say 4.
I think six is a good number, but I don't mind, like, I don't even mind the fact that they're one a month or even 2 a month if it's if they're gonna do the brand split properly. Like, it's the same.
They never
We're
will.
gonna
They never will.
exactly.
They
That's
never
the issue.
will.
You're gonna have all these pay-per-views, and then you're not gonna split it by brand or split it by something. So that way, like, I mean, I think every other month will be fine. Like, in terms of, like, Raw gets a pay-per-view January and March. SmackDown gets a pay-per-view February and April, and then have NXT sprinkled in there too. Like, I would be fine with that, but they'll never do that. At worst, you can do it every month. You can even do 2 a month. I wouldn't even cry about 2 a month if it was split properly, where it felt like each show was worth something or special to me in some way.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
I
I
think,
wouldn't.
honestly, in my opinion, I think it should be 6 shows tops. I think it should be Royal Rumble in January. Have a break between, not have any pay-per-views in February or March if there's going to be a WrestleMania in March, or maybe a lot of times WrestleMania is at the beginning of April, and I think that is a good time to have maybe a network special to set up, kind of like the bridge of setting up angles going into WrestleMania. Maybe have one in like maybe early March to give a little time for Mania to breathe, and then have. I always like King of the Ring. I've always liked tournaments in wrestling, so I feel like it should be Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, King of the Ring, SummerSlam, and between. I really like having a Halloween pay-per-view. I think Halloween Havoc as a pay-per-view would be so great.
Oh yeah, and Howard
Kind of
coming back.
Speaking of that,
I
yeah,
know,
NXT.
back as an NXT special or NXT episode, but I think it would be so cool if we had pay-per-view. And remember the inflatable pumpkin that they had on in WCW. WCW did a lot of things wrong, but the one thing they did that I really always enjoyed is they had a theme with their Halloween Havocs. Even though a lot of times the shows were really bad, they were really bad shows, I feel like they always had a different feel to it than, especially when you see WWE, things are so sterile. You have the same stage every single show. You have no set design whatsoever. And I feel like you have Survivor Series, and then maybe at the end of the year, maybe have like a Starcade special on the network like they had been doing in the past. And I think that um, I think that the one thing that you do is kind of let not having as many shows. I feel like they wouldn't have to do as many rematches
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
recycling matches.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's the worst thing that's the one downside I think to the Monday Night Wars. I think Nitro had some great main events and great matches, but they kind of gave away such big matches, and they had a pay per view every month, and they had to like, oh my god, we have to recycle these matches and have them again on pay per view.
yeah.
You just can only see somebody wrestle too many times, and then you kind of get sterile to it, or you kind of just get immune to it.
And to kind of
Yeah,
bounce
that's
off.
about how I feel. I just feel like a lot of the WWE's kind of sterilizing their product, and I think that 3 hours on Raw is just ridiculous. They don't need 3 hours. They never needed that. And I think that the worst thing that they did was turn that show into a 3 hour show. And I think 2 hours or even 1 hour, I think is totally adequate. I think that's exactly what they need. But
Yeah.
that's how I feel about that. I'm pretty sure you guys are probably in the same wheelhouse as me.
I definitely agree with a lot of I've always talked about how I wish they would bring back King of the Ring, and a proper King of the Ring, not the we're gonna do the majority of the tournament on Raw and SmackDown, and then the main event of this throwaway pay-per-view is going to be the finals of an actual King of the Ring pay-per-view, like it
Yeah.
used to be. um
At least do quarterfinals, semifinals, and the
yeah
championship now, or the final
yeah
match. I
and
just I think that like one of the greatest pay per views I've ever seen where they did the tournament correctly was the very first King of the Ring pay per view in '93. I'm biased because I'm a big Bret Hart fan, but
yeah
that was one of the best showcases I've ever seen of any wrestler going through a tournament and having just kick ass matches one after the other. I just think that I just wish that they let. I just feel like a lot of times, especially Vince doesn't have the attention span to build something over time, and you can do a tournament where it can be fun. I mean, some of the biggest ratings you get all year long, pre-COVID, was the NCAA tournament in basketball, and I think that you do that with professional wrestling, but I think some people don't have the patience or the know-how to do it properly.
Yeah, and to kind of as with the Halloween Havoc thing, I know NXT is bringing back as a pay-per-view the Halloween Havoc, which they've been doing a lot of bringing back some of the older WCW pay-per-views as NXT pay-per-views, which I
Graveyard
like.
Bash.
um
Yeah.
the one huge thing, and we've talked about this on the show a couple times, the huge thing that they dropped the ball with that I think would have been a perfect opportunity, especially during this whole COVID thing over the summer, where you didn't want a lot of people inside, because you don't want to spread the virus and all that. They had the perfect opportunity to somehow do an outdoor Bash at the Beach. I think that would have
Absolutely.
been absolutely perfect.
Absolutely. I never understood. This is the one thing I do not understand. WWE has always had SummerSlam at the end of the summer, always usually at the end of August. Why have they never? They've only done it one time where they had a SummerSlam outside. And that was almost 30 years ago, which was probably one of the greatest SummerSlams they ever had in London. The
Yeah.
famous Bret Hart, Davey Boy Smith Intercontinental Championship match. I feel like they're missing out. I definitely agree with you, Casey. I really wish they would do. I just think it'd be so cool to have a show just outside in like a baseball stadium once everything gets
Yeah.
back to you can actually have crowds again. I think that would be so cool. And like have it in like somewhere like Chicago, maybe have it at Wrigley Field or have it at Fenway Park. Just have it somewhere and have it as a kind of like an outdoor summer feel. I
Yeah,
just think that'd be cool. I just wish they'd do more of that
but
instead of just doing it for WrestleMania.
yeah. But anyway, I know that DJ and I always talk about discussions. I think this is going into a discussion because I know Brandon, you mentioned that Bret Hart is one of your favorite wrestlers of all time, and is mine as well. So I think at some point we need to do an updated discussion on our favorite wrestlers of all time.
See,
Yeah.
I'm more
I
of a
have
Michael
two.
fan. That's more my favorite.
We definitely will. I don't want to run too many of our NFL picks people
I
away.
have two. I have two favorites. I have Bret Hart, Macho Man.
Same.
Bret Hart, Macho Man are my favorites.
Yep.
We will expand this discussion at some point under its own little umbrella, of course. Justin, did you want to chime in on the pay-per-view thing
Oh yeah, I did want to chime in on that.
before we wrap up?
Yeah, so before we get out of here, before we talk about any more stuff, more wrestling. See, I feel like they should do 4 shows, 4 pay-per-views a year. So Royal Rumble, of course, and then nothing during like February and nothing during March, and have WrestleMania in April because that's a great time to have WrestleMania, and then. Actually, maybe I'll change it to 6 because I like King of the Ring. That's always been one of my favorite pay-per-views to watch because like Brandon says, tournaments are amazing, and with the WWE Network, you can have the tournament, go through that, like that'd be amazing on there. Okay,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, maybe you could do like a little more TV specials, since like how NXT is doing, Halloween Havoc on, regular NXT. You could do some like regular TV specials, and just make your show feel more special. Because I remember what they used to do, with Monday Night Raw. We have some like 3-hour specials once in a while. So do something like that, you go like, okay, we're coming towards the end of, finishing off some rivalries here, so let's kind of do a special show, and then go into building something new here, and then every few weeks, you do kind of a special thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely
I think
agree.
that's a good point. Yeah,
And like TNA does that. Like they just got done doing, Victory Road. Getting, kind of tying the loose knots for Bound for Glory coming up here, which is like
right.
in 3 weeks here.
Yeah. They have
And,
some
and
of
I
those.
hope that TNA or Impact. I hope that TNA they actually for Bound for Glory they actually have some people in the crowd, maybe even wrestlers or something, because it just feels like really weird without them having any fans. Like you see the NXT, WWE, AEW, them having either wrestlers or having a little bit of crowd, having a little bit of fans in the crowd.
Yeah, and I mean they're putting on some of the best shows, so it would be nice to get some sort of natural reaction at your biggest show of the year, which should be Slammiversary.
Yeah,
But
I've
I
been
mean, if
hearing
they
good
want to
things
say it
about
now,
Impact. I've been hearing good things about Impact. I just haven't watched a show in so long. The last time I watched an actual Impact show, this shows you how long ago it was. It was still on Spike TV.
And also, I'll tell you, like, back to what Casey was saying earlier, like about like the reason why a lot of these companies are stale, like WWE especially, is stale right now, is because a lot of like a lot of wrestlers are kind of like robotic and stuff. They don't have any really much character to them. But in Impact, I mean, there's like so many crazy wonky characters. I mean, you got Susie, you got the
even EC3's character is a little bit crazy.
I like EC3's character. You got Eric Young's character. You know, him being a maniac.
Rosemary.
Rosemary, Ty Valkyrie. I mean, the whole what's it called? The Russell House.
Well,
That's the crazy suit of characters there you got.
We got Crazy Steve. Is Crazy Steve still there?
Yeah, crazy
yeah.
Steve over there. Yeah, Johnny
Well,
Swinger. I mean, it's
and
pretty
to add to that, one of the impressive things to me still, because I hadn't watched Impact in a while. You know, I was watching around when Su Young debuted in Impact, and I was super excited about her because I'd watched her in the Indies and stuff like that, and I knew how talented she was. And then for a while, I kind of stopped watching Impact again, not because I wasn't into it. It's just wasn't remembering to watch it every week. And then I come back and I see Susie, and I'm like, who is Susie? I don't know who this person is. And then I forgot if it was DJ or who told me. It was like, that's Su Young. That impresses me right there. That somebody that I knew can change their gimmick and I don't even realize it's them. That's impressive to me. Because so many people
Well, the thing
change
is,
their gimmick and you can tell it's the same person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is Don Callis still involved in the company?
Not right now. Madison Rain's on commentary right now. They bring him in for like special occasions, like pay-per-views, stuff like that. They'll
You
have
know,
him on commentary.
I could put up with Michael Cole, but Josh Matthews, he is terrible on commentary. I cannot stand Josh
I think he's
Matthews.
that bad.
You talking about Matthews?
Yeah,
Josh Matthews. Oh, I tell you, every time I hear that man talk, he sounds like he is horribly constipated. Every time he talks on commentary, he
you know who
always
I
sounds
miss?
like he is just yeah.
You know
You
they're
know
thinking
who I
about
Poor man,
miss
he's
bringing
bad
in.
enough.
They're thinking about bringing in Matt Stryker.
Yeah, Matt Stryker. That's who I was about to say. That's who I really want to see. Matt Stryker come back.
They've been considering that, is what I heard, but
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. Like Matt Stryker, he's really good at play-by-play. It's like I like Matt Stryker.
Would you guys rather have Mike Tenay back and Don West?
yes,
Yeah, dude, that was
definitely.
a classic Impact
see,
there. Yeah.
I would love. Isn't Tanae in AEW?
No, today is in WWE. No, actually, no. Never mind. That's. I'm thinking somebody. I'm thinking of JB.
He's
Remember
retired.
Boran.
He's retired. He's living in Las Vegas now. I know that for a fact because Tony Schiavone talked about that on his podcast.
Yeah, but
Taz is still pretty good on commentary. I actually enjoyed Taz on commentary.
He's a solid manager too.
Yeah. See, I never started liking Taz in 2020. I go like, what? This is weird, Taz.
I really like I would really like Matt Striker though because I loved him in Lucha Underground. I think he's so much better as a commentator than he ever was in ring. No offense to his in ring work, but he's a really good commentator. I would love to see them bring him in.
Oh, you said Stryker? You said Stryker, Casey?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There was a report that they might bring him in. That was the most recent report. But anyway, I think there's nothing else left to be said. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this, to be honest, because I think we got on a pretty good discussion, wrestling discussion, ironically enough, on the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. Ha ha. We got on a pretty good wrestling discussion. So sorry, NFL fans who may have been specifically here for NFL content. You never know when we'll go on a wrestling tangent. You never know. It can happen at any time.
I mean, to be fair, we got the NFL stuff
I'm the
done
one who
before.
started it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's true.
I started it. Sorry.
So I'm not certain what exactly I'm gonna do. If it lets me upload this in its entirety, I will. If it doesn't, then I will cut it and make the wrestling portion its own little discussion within itself. Anyway, I know Casey and I, and maybe some others, I'm not sure, are going to talk about NXT Takeover at some point throughout the week, and we may just
Are we
get
going
on
to talk
some other.
about Victory Road also?
What do you say?
Are we going to talk about Victory Road also? We could talk about them in the same show.
Possibly. I think that's something that I've been thinking about. Haven't talked to Casey about it, ironically enough, as I bring it up on a live show about potentially doing just a weekly show where we talk about different things going on, and especially some of these later reviews that we end up doing.
Haven't we had this idea like 17 times?
We have, but now we have an actual audio audience to deal with. So I'm trying to push some things, Casey. Okay, we'll figure it. As long as we get content over there, I don't care what it is. But we may look into that. Even if it's not even anything remotely organized, if it's just shooting the breeze, as they say, uh, about just wrestling topics, different pay-per-views that just happen, different things going on. We may just do it that way instead of having an actual having some sort of actual form within it. But nonetheless, that'll be it for the wrestling discussion slash NFL picks. That we had. Shout out to Brandon for coming by. Appreciate it so much.
Good
of course,
seeing y'all again, man.
yeah,
Take
good
care.
seeing you, man.
Yeah,
Kind
good
of
seeing
growing
you,
out the
man.
beard, Brandon. I was surprised. I was surprised. No beard today. No COVID beard. What's going on, Brandon? But
I
nonetheless,
don't know either. It's bad internet out here in the boonies.
but nonetheless, we appreciate everybody tuning in. If you are listening and you want the live content, be sure to like us on Facebook. If you are watching and you want to listen on the road, wherever you may be, you can Google us, Instaclass Wrestling Podcast. Google us, and you can find us and be able to listen as well. But nonetheless, we'll see you guys on whatever the next show is. Shout out to Justin too. Forgot to shout out to Justin, but shout out to Justin at the True JSB on Twitter. Tweet him something crazy. Let him know that he has some crazy ideas. But nonetheless, we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, bye, love, and